goofish, ain't I? Weirdo. What's going on, vinyl community? YouTube. Welcome to Cosmic Vinyl. I'm Cosmic Brian, your host, rocking the goofy hat and sunglasses. Hey, welcome aboard, man. Got kind of another segment of the top 10 of the 60s. Started by Vinyl Richie. I think he was hoping that some people would jump in on it. I did tell him initially when he did his 65 that I would give it a go, and then I kind of wussed out a little bit. And then I just kind of reapproached it and went ahead and went for it. So this is my third segment of it. Joining him in this quest to save the vinyl community from its impending death. Or maybe it's already dead, according to somebody. But that doesn't matter. Anyway, it's alive and well. Vinyl Richie brought it back. Freaking CPR. Anyway, let's just get on with it. There will be no big chug tonight, folks, because I'm rocking a little Diet Dew here tonight. Got to work early in the morning, man. Just wasn't feeling the brews tonight. And actually, that's hitting the spot for me anyway. So, what we're listening to here is a little group called Road. You can see they're looking very fashionable in their 60s jackets and hairstyles here. 60s band that did like a bunch of cover songs. Yeah, basically it's all covers. I don't want to talk too much about that though. But Road, not to be confused with the Road with Noel Redding from Jimi Hendrix Experience. Now that album is one I want, but I haven't got it quite yet. So anyway, I'm going to jump in on this 1967, my top 10 favorite albums. I do not have a lot of the albums that probably should be on this list. Just a little disclaimer, I only use the albums that I have. So you may think that, well, why isn't this one or that one there? And you'd be thinking that rightfully so, but I'm just doing what I have in my collection. And I tried again not to overlap too much with Vinyl Richie's entry or thread video or whatever. So I'm going to start like I have the other two in 65 and 66 by showing a couple honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is this, the Chambers Brothers, Time Has Come. Man, this is a great record. At one point, it was in the top 10, but I had to bump it after I realized some albums that I had that came out in 67 trumped this fella. But anyway, man, I remember the title track being in this horror movie back in the 80s called Bad Dreams. It was about this cult leader who invaded these young people's dreams, kind of like Freddy Krueger, and he was murdering them or whatever. It was wild. I can't remember. It's kind of fuzzy, but I do remember Time Has Come Today being the song that was played throughout. What a great band. They went on to have a lot of other albums, like more soul stuff. But they have one of the greatest psychedelic songs of all time in the title track on this album. So that's my first honorable mention. Second one, another one that was in the top 10 at one point, is the Chocolate Watch Band, No Way Out. And I just love this record. This is a reissue. Look at all those symbols around the outside border there. I just love it. Then there's words and stuff there. But I love this record. Very garage psych. I picked this up early on when I started getting into like the 60s garage stuff. I was happy to have it. I know it's a reissue. Man, it can't have originals of everything. And I'm happy. It sounds great. And they are just great. And I need to get the album that came after this. It's really a psychedelic masterpiece. But that's another honorable mention. Now this one, again, almost made the top 10. This is Clear Light. God, these guys are great. Check them out. Look at the band. Aren't those guys incredible? This guy looks a little like Morrison a little bit. But check this guy out. Check out those mutton chops. Isn't that fantastic? I mean, I've got some pretty cool, like, chops, but man, that guys are out of this. They're like way out of my league. I should let these just get bushy and thick, like Mungo Jerry Major League chops, right? I love Mungo Jerry. Anyway, these guys are great. This is psychedelic, just really killer guitar work in this. I mean, there's a song on here that I just love so much, The Ballad of Freddie and Larry. I mean, it's only like 2 minutes long, but the guitar work is just absolutely fantabulous. But anyway, that's an honorable mention. Now we're going to jump right into the top 10. I do have to move my notes over here so I keep them in the right order. But this is the Strawberry Alarm Clock, Incense and Peppermint, breaking into the top 10. I mean, definitely everybody knows the title track of this. It got lots of radio airplay, and that song is a great song, but there is so many other great tunes on this. The opening track, which is like an 8-minute number, it's called The World's on Fire, is just an amazing opener for a great album. There's the back cover there. I was happy to get this album. A friend of mine back in Fort Dodge had doubles of this, and he let me have this at just dirt cheap, and I love it. And I'm eyeballing some other Strawberry Alarm Clock that I got a guy saving for me at the record shop, so gonna be in my possession soon. And now number 9 is the Electric Prunes, Underground. Now everybody knows I had Too Much to Dream last night. That was a big hit for them. But they didn't have a lot of artistic control of that album, and it was kind of all over the place. This has shown more musical maturity, better songwriting. They were able to kind of work freely, so there's way more of their own compositions on this album. And you can tell, and there it is again on the reprise, what I call the Neapolitan, even though it doesn't have the chocolate part of it on there. But anyway, this is so good. I mean, very fuzzed out guitars, wah-wah. Look at that back cover, the infrared kind of night vision type graphic there. But yeah, you can see the musical maturity from the other album to this one. Although this album did commercially did not, blow up. They didn't have a single off of this. There was no single, so that kind of hampered how good this album did. But of course, we as record collectors now know that it's a gem. But that's number 9. Number 8 is going to be one that you're probably going to think should have been a little higher, and that's the 13th Floor Elevators, Easter Everywhere. Man, these guys from Texas, great psych band, Rocky Erickson, just a tortured genius. I kind of wish that this was on the back and that was the front cover, and I think maybe it was on some releases. Maybe I'm wrong. But, yeah, just get a load of Rocky right there. There's the rest of the band. This has a lot less of the old electric jug, which could, like Vinyl Richie said, it can tend to get a little annoying after a while. But, man, it's just an amazing record. Definitely deserves a top 10 spot. Probably should have been up a little higher, but I'm going with what I went. I tortured myself. This was a lot harder than 65 and 66. So then coming in at number 7 is Jefferson Airplane. Another one that probably could have been higher. It's Surrealistic Pillow. with Grace Slick, Paul Kantner, San Francisco psychedelic band, a staple in the Bay Area. Great back cover there. Of course, the two giant hits off of this, White Rabbit and Somebody to Love. Both songs have been on many soundtracks of many great movies. Wow, this is just a psych masterpiece on the RCA label. It's a reissue I have here. But yeah, great stuff, man. Great stuff, man. Check out the great stuff, man. Anyway, let's move on before I go totally crazy. I'm gonna keep it under 20. The next one is Vanilla Fudge. I love some Vanilla Fudge, featuring the great drummer Carmine Appice. God, I love him, man. He's covered so many decades of music. But anyway, we're not talking about Carmine, Killer Carmine, or King Carmine. Look at the Atco label there. This is one of the first psychedelic records I picked up when I started collecting vinyl again about 4 years ago. This is a pretty decent copy. Most of the time you find these, they're beat to hell. It does have some, some tape and stuff, but, the vinyl sounds great. Now this is known probably for having the amazing song, You Keep Me Hanging On, with a song that was used to perfection in the Quentin Tarantino masterpiece Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The climactic ending, I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but if you haven't, man, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Man, check it out. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino changed history with those scenes and used Vanilla Fudge, You Keep Me Hanging On, for the backdrop. Man, just beautiful, man, beautiful. I'm going to put these down so we don't have an incident. It's getting a little heavy for my display here. So we'll have Vanilla Fudge hold down the fort. This is one I almost left out, not on purpose, but by accident. That's a West Coast pop art experimental band. Part 1. Wow, what a smoking psychedelic album this is. It's on Music on Vinyl, which those presses always sound great, and this one's no different. Sounds incredible. Wow. I think Ron at Hog's Ear told me this is like maybe a fetus like coming out. I don't know. I can't remember what he told me, but something I never seen before. It's like a birthing thing. But anyway, check out the back cover there. Man, when this thing opens up with the song Shifting Sands, that is if you haven't heard that, that's a great psych song, a staple, a masterpiece. This band has kind of a weird history too, but I was lucky enough to pick up some originals of some of their other stuff. But yeah, check this out. This definitely deserves a top 10 spot. I love the cover. I love the colors. All right, and so now then we're going to see my first duplication of multiple albums by one band. I tried to avoid that, but I just had to do it. I had to do it. Anyway, it's the Rollingstones, Flowers. A really good compilation of some of their classic songs. It's got Ruby Tuesday, Let's Spend the Night Together, Lady Jane, what's the other? Oh, Mother's Little Helper. Man, I used to sing that song all the time. Used to do a little karaoke now and then, and I used to love to sing that. There is a song on here that is also on the Once Upon a Time soundtrack called Out of Time. And I tried to talk about it in the last, about being on Aftermath in the 1966 video, and I couldn't remember it. Remember that? Maybe you don't. I hope not. But anyway, Out of Time is such a great song. I love it. And I love that cover. And man, rest in peace, Charlie Watts. Man, what a great loss of just not only a great rockin' drummer, but just a great gentleman, a great human being. Will be sorely missed. And now this is probably my first one of my first duplications of Vinyl Richie's list. And I'm bringing in at number 3, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Are You Experienced? When I was in high school, I bought this record. That was back in the 80s. And for me to be into this, my friends didn't have a clue. They were like, what are you doing? I took a chance on it. First of all, I loved the cover, you know, the fishbowl type picture here of the band. And on the Afrometer, that's a 9.5 to a 10 right there. I mean, you got, and even Jimmy's got about a 7.5 going there. Their hair was just out of control. And I love their outfits, the colors. Oh man, to me, this was just glorious. And the songs, Purple Haze, Manic Depression, Hey Joe, and then, of course, The Wind Cries Mary. Man, I'll tell you what, the wind cried Mary earlier here in the cosmic realm, if you know what I'm saying, right? Ooh, ooh, the wind whispers marijuana. All right, number 3. Uh-oh, we're running out of tunes already. God, I got to get moving here. Whoa. All right, so next on the list, okay, these two could have easily been interchangeable. In fact, I kind of struggled with which one to put in the number 1 spot. And these two are the same two that took the number 1 and 2 spots in the last 2 videos. But I'm afraid number 2 is going to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. Man, a great album. There's nothing more that can be said about this that hasn't already been said. I'll open it up because it's got one of the greatest. There's the inner insert there. One of the greatest gatefolds of all time. Look at the colorful. Look at the great guys there. They changed directions with this. Influenced so many bands. Wow, just a great record. I'm not even going to try and say anything more about it because really it doesn't need to be said. It influenced this album. I imagine almost people think this was a copy, but my number 1 is the Rolling Stones, Her Satanic Majesty's Request. See the similarities here? I mean, come on. This has very similar cover, but this takes on a darker tone, which the Stones always did. They took the darker road than the Beatles. They've got the lenticular cover here. Picked this up at an antique shop. Man, I love this. And this gatefold is equally as amazing. A little more detail here. Nice maze there. Great songs. She's a Rainbow. The Citadel is one of my favorite songs on this. 2000 Man, which was covered by Ace Frehley of Kiss. 2000 Light Years from Home. This I could just sit and listen to all day, sitting in the beanbag, just getting gassed and listen to this. It's fantastic. The Rolling Stones took the number 1 spot for 67. All right, guys, I'm going to try and keep this under 20. I'm getting close. All right, guys, stay safe, stay cosmic. Tune in for the next one. Check out Vinyl Richie's list. Goodbye.